Hi everybody, it's Deborah from PeopleLovingAnimals.com. Thanks so much for tuning in, watching my video today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about potty training an adult dog. Now, whether you're talking about just a dog who is a year or more old and is an adult, or if we're talking about a senior dog, if you have an older senior dog who you're trying to potty train. We're going to go over some tips for that. We're going to talk about 3 steps that you can do, the easiest 1, 2, 3 steps to potty train your adult dog. We're also going to talk about what if these attempts don't work, like what if you're having a problem, how to determine what the problem might be and what you can do to solve it. So if you have an adult dog that you're trying to potty train, I think that potty training an adult dog is basically the same as potty training a puppy, but it's difficult for both for various reasons. The puppy you've got, and he's just ridiculous. He's chaotic. You just got no attention span. Puppies are puppies. They're babies. But then also adult dogs, especially if they're older, they're set in their ways. They're just, you're trying to change, like, who knows how many lifelong habits of theirs. Do you know what I mean? It can be difficult for both, but I think you're going to get some help from today's video. If you have not been here before, I own this website called PeopleLovingAnimals.com, and I do videos and posts all about the care and health and training of dogs and cats. So if you like that sort of thing, I would love to have you on board as a subscriber. Thank you so much if you are already a subscriber to my channel. And if the video is helpful, please go ahead and give it a like. It really does help YouTubers when you do that, okay? So I'm going to use this post, How to Potty Train an Adult Dog, to guide us through today's video. I'm not going to read it to you. I'm just going to use it as a guide, but I will give you a link to it in the description box if you want to go in and read anything that you see while we're going through here. Now, if you've been here before for any of my dog or puppy training videos, you know that I support Doggy Dan. He is the owner of a dog training website called theonlinedogtrainer.com. I'll give you a link. He is my #1 recommendation because he does tons of free tutorials. He does tons of free video series. His website is video-based. You get to watch him actually training dogs and puppies and working with the owners. And he has a tutorial that is free on how to potty train an adult dog. So I'm going to give you a link to that free tutorial from Doggy Dan in the description box of this video. Now, according to Doggy Dan, there are 3 super effective steps for potty training an adult dog. #1 is to set your dog up for success. Set up a small area for your dog to hang out, especially when they're unsupervised. If your dog tends to go off somewhere to go potty, try setting up a small fenced area in your main living space so that your dog can't sneak off and go somewhere. Take them out to the same spot in the yard every single time. Just set up a spot where they can go to the bathroom, and until you get them potty trained, keep them confined in the house. Put them in the kitchen or the bathroom where there's no carpet, and it won't be for long though, because follow these steps, you're going to be able to potty train them, okay? So the first thing is to set your dog up for success. Don't leave them in the house and then get mad when you come home and they've peed on the rug. Okay, set them up for success. If they are not potty trained and they're peeing on the rug or whatever, get them out of trouble ahead of time. Confine them to the bathroom or the laundry room, or even just put up a baby gate somewhere so they're at least only in a small area of the house. Just don't set them up for failure, The second tip is to keep a consistent routine, especially if your dog is older. Older dogs, they always need special care, special compassion, special patience. When you think about it, they age just like people. Old people, you can't hear very well. You can't see very well. You maybe can't walk or balance very well. You're probably in pain all the time with some level of arthritis. You might have, health issues. You know what I mean? You might be on medications. There's just so many factors to consider when you have an elderly dog. So always pay special attention, and you just got to be so careful with the older dogs. But anyway, set up a consistent routine. If your dog is struggling with potty training, you can't let them go 6 or more hours without them being taken outside. You have to keep a consistent routine until they are consistently going potty outside. It might sound extreme, but you could start treating adult dog like a puppy. When you get a new puppy in your potty training, they literally need to go out every 2 hours, every 2 hours, every 2 hours. Every time they eat, every time they wake up from a nap, every time they get done playing, you have to put them outside, put them outside, put them outside constantly, because they can't hold their bladder very long at all, and they're so out of control and they're so chaotic. And so when you have a puppy, you're taking them out every couple of hours, then you're taking them to the same spot every time, and every time they pee in the right spot, you give them a treat. So you might want to just start out your adult dog like that. Just, treat them like they were a puppy, and just start with that repetition. Take them outside, take them outside, take them outside, take them to the same spot every time. If they go to the bathroom in that spot, give them a treat, give them praise. It's kind of the same process, even if you have an older dog. And then obviously you can let that 2 hour time frame get bigger and bigger, where obviously an adult dog is not going to have to go out every 2 hours, but the whole point is to teach them where to go potty and teach them that they get praise and treats if they go potty in that spot. That's the reason for the every 2 hour repetition. But obviously you're going to be able to make that longer and longer. You should always take your dog out first thing in the morning. I hate to break it to you, but most dog owners just can't sleep in. If you have a family and the kids are up or whatever. But for years and years, I have lived alone. Oh, did you see Whiskers? Hey, honey. My cat Whiskers just jumped up behind us here. I don't think you can see him. Whisker. There he is. Oh, he's such a beautiful boy. I love him so much. But I was saying about you can't sleep late. I've lived alone for 100 years, and for about 6.5 years, I had a little miniature dachshund named Taz, and I lived alone. So, I was the only one that could let the dog out. And I always say that she was my little alarm clock, because she woke up at the same time every single day, every season, every day, every weekend, every single day, like clockwork. She would wake up at the same time. Now, she was elderly. She was older when I got her, and I had her for 6.5 years. So she was on the older side. So she couldn't really hold her bladder that great, But if I didn't get up and take her outside, let her outside, she would just stroll down to the dining room and pee on the rug. She, like, nobody's business. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't even really blame her. I mean, obviously she was potty trained. She was an older dog, but the fact is she was getting older. She couldn't hold her bladder. She had to go outside. And I have to say that it always, I don't know, I know it's TV and movies, but whenever I see, like, on TV or in a show or whatever, it's like somebody has a dog, and they get up in the movie, they're showing them brushing their teeth and getting dressed and everything, and they get up, they take a shower, they do hair and makeup, they get dressed, they pack the kids' lunches, they go down and have a breakfast, and then they let the dog out. And it's like, are you kidding? I don't know about you, but could you wait that long from the time you woke up to go and empty your bladder? So don't make your dog wait forever. Do whatever you have to do to get your dog outside immediately in the morning when they wake up. The same as you have to go to the bathroom immediately when you wake up. And even if you have to hook up a runner maybe in your backyard where you can just hook them to the runner real quick, they can go out. You're in your pajamas. You don't have to go outside. Hook up a runner, let them go out, or just quickly put them on the leash, take them out real quick. Let them empty their bladder in the morning, okay? Also, you should take your dog outside right before bed to let them empty their bladder and give them a better chance of having success overnight. And again, the third step is always reward your dog with treats or praise when they do go in the right spot. Now, you have to do that instantaneously, okay? You have to understand that a dog's brain is very cause and effect. When I do this, this happens. When I do this, this happens. When I do this, this happens. And they can only make that connection in the moment. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you come home from work and your dog has peed on the rug and you start yelling at the dog, all the dog knows is that there's pee in the room and you're yelling. Like, they can't put it together. Oh, I peed on the carpet 3 hours ago and now she saw it and now I'm getting in trouble. They can't even think that way. So they don't understand what is happening. But also, when you're giving praise, you have to give the treat or the praise at the moment that they are peeing or at the moment that they are pooping in the place in the yard where you want. Again, cause and effect. They're peeing in this spot, they get a treat. They're pooping in this spot, they get a treat. Repetitively, every time. Now, it doesn't have to be every time forever, but just while you're potty training them. It has to be immediate. The treat has to come while they're doing the good thing. The praise has to come while they're doing the good thing, okay? Now, I always say about potty training, if you have a dog or a puppy who makes an accident in your house, I'm sorry, but it's your fault. Okay, it is our responsibility as pet owners to learn how to do proper dog training, proper potty training. If it's not successful, it's not the dog, it's you. Do you know what I mean? We have to take responsibility. It's like, okay, this is not working. What am I doing? You know, but I'm really glad for you, because obviously you want to do a good job, or you wouldn't be here on YouTube looking for tips on how to potty train your adult dog. So I hope that those steps will help you. Now, if you're doing this and you're doing all the repetitive things and everything I've just talked about, and you're still having a problem, and your dog is maybe, peeing or pooping in the house or at different times or overnight or anything, consider a medical issue. Now, this would be more prevalent for older dogs, but it can be younger dogs too. Make sure they don't have, they can go to the vet and get a simple examination, simple urine test. They might have a urinary tract infection. They could have a bladder infection. Older dogs are more prone to that than younger dogs. You can always make sure your vet checks it out. Not a dog, but a cat. I had a cat who lived for 20 years. And when I think she was around 14 years old. I'd had this cat for 14 years old. For 14 years. She always went in the litter box. I never had a problem for 14 years. All of a sudden, she starts peeing on the bath mat. And I'm like, why is the cat, I couldn't understand it. The litter box is clean. I couldn't understand. So finally I was so baffled. I'm like, there's got to be something wrong with the cat. So I took her to the vet, and sure enough, she had a bladder crystal that she had to have removed. And it was a surgery. She was having a problem. And the vet said to me, the reason she's going on the bath mat and not in the litter box is because when she goes to the litter box and she pees, it hurts. If you've ever had a urinary tract infection, you know what that feels like. When you urinate, it burns. It's painful. So he said all she knows is when she goes to the litter box and she pees, it hurts. She thinks it has something to do with the litter box. So she's looking for someplace else to pee where it won't hurt. Do you know what I mean? So you just have to realize, I think a lot of times we give our animals too much credit as far as what they can figure out. And we're like, oh, he's doing that because, no, they're not. Like, a dog can't even think that way. Do you know what I mean? So again, always check and make sure there's not a medical issue, like some sort of a bladder infection or something. Because again, if you've ever had a urinary tract infection, you always feel every moment like you're about to burst. You always feel, your bladder always feels full. You have an urgency to go to the bathroom. You rush to the bathroom and you pee 2 tablespoons full. It's a constant pressure on your bladder. So I'm just saying it might be a medical issue, and you should definitely have your dog checked out for that. I just realized my battery is kind of dying on my laptop here. I'm sorry that the screen dimmed a little bit. Also, if you have an older dog, remember that they're aging. They just cannot hold their bladder very long. They're going to have to be let outside more often. Also, you might consider confining the dog to an area that doesn't have carpet. You could put them in the laundry room, the bathroom somewhere, put some pee-pee pads down. I had a miniature dachshund. This is a different one than I was talking about before. This miniature dachshund became incontinent. And I had her in diapers for the last several months of her life. And they were actually kind of cute. They were little dog diapers. I had one that was denim. It was denim, and you would put like a pad in it. And it had a hole for the tail. It was just, it was heartbreaking, but she was so cute in her little diaper. But she would wear it, it went on, just like a kid, And I had to diaper her because she was completely incontinent. She couldn't hold it at all. She was just kind of leaking all the time. So if you have an elderly dog and you can't get to this point where your dog can control their bladder enough, talk with your vet. They'll give you some suggestions. And one of the suggestions might be that the dog wears a diaper. But you have to make sure, if your dog is that bad off that they can't hold their bladder, make sure they see the vet. You've got to make sure that there isn't something serious going on, okay? Now, I want to give you a couple of things. If your dog is suffering from stress or anxiety, that can interfere with any training, and it can also interfere with potty training, especially if your dog is a shelter dog or a rescue dog. You don't know if they have had any form of training in their life so far. You don't know what they might have endured at the hands of a previous owner. You don't know what kind of abuse they might have had, if they might have been abandoned at some point. Some dogs, they've had a hard time, and you just gotta you just got to try to create an environment for them where they feel safe and they feel like they can trust you. I'm going to give you a recommendation for the dog calming code. This is an inexpensive, easy to follow 2-hour video training from professional dog trainer Doggy Dan. And it's 5 steps to help your dog to see you as the pack leader. They see you as being in charge. They don't have to protect the house. They don't have to protect the kids. They don't have to protect the yard. They don't have to protect you. They don't have to make any decisions. They don't have to be the one in charge if the doorbell rings. And if you have a dog who's, anxious, fearful, if they've been abused in the past or anything like that, I really highly suggest going through the dog calming code, because it will really help the dog. And Doggy Dan, professional dog trainer Doggy Dan, he always says that stepping up as pack leader for your dog is one of the most loving things that you could ever do for your dog, okay? So especially if you're having trouble with an older dog. I'm also going to give you a link to a free potty training video series by Doggy Dan. This is one of the best potty training formats of any kind that I've ever seen. It's 100% free. I'll give you the link. You sign up with Doggy Dan, and then he emails you the videos. I think there's 5 videos. I'm not sure. But he's actually in somebody's house. The guy has adopted a puppy, and Doggy Dan is setting things up. You get to see Doggy Dan potty training a puppy, and it's 100% free. So even if, you have an adult dog, this is, basically based around puppies, but the concepts are the same. Okay, so go ahead and take advantage of that free tutorial, or video series rather. This is the little dachshund. This is not the dachshund who was in diapers. That was a dachshund named Maggie. This is my little dachshund named Taz, and she's the one that got up at the same time every day. You see the gray on her face. She was gray like that when I adopted her, and then I had her for 6.5 years. So she got pretty old. But I did a video on, is it too late to train your dog? And that talks about training older dogs. So you might get some help out of that too. Doggy Dan, I'll give you a link to his website. He's the owner of the onlinedogtrainer.com. He's my top recommendation for dog training and puppy training. I really support his kind dog training techniques. He gives a 3-day access to his website where you can go in and watch as many videos as you want for $1. But he also has tons of free stuff. So I'm going to give you the links to those in the description box of this video. Now, if you have not been here before, you don't know that I donate to animal charities. I am an affiliate for several of the products and services that I recommend or mention on my YouTube channel and on my website. Not all of them, but some of them. So if you use some of those links and you make a purchase, I will get a small commission. And then I donate 10% of my earnings to animal charities. And if you go to the homepage of my website, peoplelovinganimals.com, you'll see a list of the animal charities that I donate to. So again, I thank you so much for watching the video. I hope that it was helpful to you. Please go ahead and give it a like if it was. Please go ahead and share my channel with other pet owners if you think that they would enjoy it, especially somebody who's maybe having a problem. Somebody with an aggressive dog, somebody with a new puppy, somebody with a new kitten, go ahead and share the YouTube channel and my website with them. I really would appreciate the support. So again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Deborah, and my website is peoplelovinganimals.com. Thanks again. Bye-bye.